Today I'll be covering a few of the Babysitters Club novels from the series. What I will need is a squeegee, sharp pair of scissors and some contact. Over here we've got the Fry's contact. The first thing to do is to measure out your contact. I don't like to waste contact. There are people that cut a piece and then cut separate sections off. I just prefer to use the whole thing. So in that case, I'll pick a contact where I can easily have 2 squares above, holding it down, gently folding it over, and 2 squares below. Then I also want 2 squares on either side. So I will have 2 squares on the top and 2 squares on the bottom and make my cut. After that, we want to measure the spine. With measuring the spine, I'll bring the book up all the way to the edge of the page, the contact, and then I will fold over my contact to leave enough room for the spine, and I'll give it a fold. It doesn't have to be millimeter for millimeter. Just a rough measurement will do. Now, as you've seen, I just flip it across and I open the contact. To open the contact, I do find it easier to peel the paper downwards. And then as I open the contact, I also put the contact down. I let go, I put my finger on the contact and gently peel. So this makes sure that everything is nice and flat. I'll grab my book, make sure there's no price stickers. And with the corner, the back corner of the spine, I will drag it across the contact, leaving 2 and 2 squares until it drops. So that's dropped. Now what I'll do is I'll gently push down and then drop. I'll flip over, holding it securely with my other hand, and I'll start from the middle. So I'm not going to keep the squeegee pressed straight down or the other way straight down. I'm always going to use angles. So that way we can push the air out the top and out the bottom of the book, not out the side. So as you see, I'm starting in the middle of the book, and on an angle, I press down and then I go back up, and it's all angles and just gentle pressure and just a very close together. It's all angles. So now that I've gone from the middle out and then the middle out on an angle, I'm able to flip the squeegee over and use the stronger side. That would just secure the contact firmly onto the cover. Then I'll flip it. After I've flipped my book across, I want to create my cuts. With the cuts, I want to leave room for the binding, any glue, excess glue, anything that's been put into the book while making the book. I want to leave a bit of room for that. So I'll leave about 1 centimeter and I'll make my cut not straight down, but on a slight angle. And then again the same. So on an angle to the tip of the book, the bottom corner, and then out on an angle as well. Because what I want to do is create 1, 2, and 3 triangles. I'll flip the book open and I'll open the back cover where I'll stick my excess corner to create, again, on an angle in and on an angle out, just to create a bit of extra protection, especially in those corners. And then again on an angle, leaving some space for the binding. Now what I'll do is I'll flip the book over and I'll lean the book on my hand. This ensures that the back cover stays firmly planted on your bench. So with my finger, I'm only going to, again, touch the middle. And then with the squeegee, I'll go in and out. So again, just touching the middle and then in and out. Again, just touching the middle, in and out. Then to do the spine, I'll gently peel and bend the book at the same time. So as I'm peeling, I'm gently bringing the book up and gently placing the book down. I'm going to hold the book in place, and with my finger, I will gently press out any bubbles, and then underneath, I will also be running my finger down just to ensure that it's nice and secure with no bubbles, and flip it. Now, using the same technique of angles, I'm going to gently start angling up and down in this motion, and also pulling the already used bottom contact outwards. So as I'm going on an angle, I'm going up and down and pulling at the same time. I'm not going to pull a lot at a time. I'm going to just gently pull, so that we can ensure that there are no bubbles. And again, the same thing, we're going to seal it in place with the hard side of your squeegee. As we're turning around, we're leaving space for the binding and making our triangle cut or our angled cut. Again, back into the corner of the book, angle cut in and angle cut out. Flip the book, place the triangle in, angle cut in and angle cut out. Open the cover, pop your contact triangle in, leaving room for the binding, cutting in, leaving about 1 centimeter. Leaning the book on my hand to keep the cover flat on the surface, and only on the middle of the contact I'll put my finger before I gently in and out press down. Middle, in and out. Now for the top and bottom contact, excess contact, I'm not going to cut straight down. So I'm not going to cut straight down because I do find that there's excess that kind of flaps around and starts peeling off. If I turn my scissors ever so slightly on an angle, so just on an angle like that, I can really get close. So let's see if I can show you. On an angle, I'm just getting in really close and making a gentle snip. And that way you can have a really soft, smooth, no excess finish. And again, not on a straight cut, but on an angle cut, going in gently, going in gently, and going in gently. So that way you end up with a book that not only has no bubbles, also has the excess protection in the corners, because everybody knows the corners are the first things to go, and then that should stand the test of time. So yeah, that's how I cover a book. I do like to go over the book with my finger and just gently push out any extra air bubbles just with the corner of my squeegee. I find that's the easiest way to pop them out. If you do have those stubborn bubbles that just won't leave. And again, pressing down from the center and then from the center and then pressing in and out. So pulling back, over and press. Flip. So 2 squares on either side, top and bottom of the book, and then 2 squares at the top, fold it over, 2 squares minimum at the bottom. Put the book on its spine, measure your spine, turn around, heel, hold down, grab your book with the corner, gently run it down 2 and 2 squares on the top, flipping it over from the middle out on an angle, pushing the air out in this motion, leaving room for the binding up to the corner and creating the triangles on either side. Flipping the book up and creating extra protection by putting the excess contact back into the book. Flipping over, putting down, pressing from the middle out and middle out. Then turning around, pulling the contact, pressure on the spine, pressure underneath, and as you pull the bottom contact, you gently on an angle do the same motion. So again, leaving enough room for the spine and popping it in the corner there. And then with the bottom corner, again the same. Going on an angle in and out, opening the cover, triangle down, cut. So now that we've made our cut, we open the book up, rest it on our hand, and again just press down the middle, and then from the middle press down outwards to ensure the bubbles are leaving the correct way. Then again on an angle we cut the excess There's much less excess than other techniques. I mean, you've only got those 2 left, which you'll put in the bin. And there you go. We've got all the babysitters, the new ones added to the collection, covered and ready to go.